I feel like everybody is talking about the movie It's a Wonderful Knife this year, and while I am happy for slasher fans getting their stabby Christmas fix this year, there is another movie that came out this year that I am far more interested in about murderous elves based on Norwegian folklore. Plus, the elves, they kind of look like if you took the dwarves from The Hobbit and a bunch of garden gnomes and mixed them together so they have no right being as adorable as they actually are. Now, if you don't know anything about There Is Something in the Barn, let me quickly fill you in. Bill moves his American wife Carol and his children Nora and Luca to Norway, where he has inherited a family estate. There, son Luca discovers a mischievous barn elf from ancient folklore living in the barn who is plotting to get rid of these new American intruders. As always here on my channel, I am now going to go and watch There Is Something in the Barn from 2023 off camera, so that way if you too want to watch this movie, nothing will be spoilt for you. Nobody wants to watch a movie you've just watched somebody else watch from start to finish.
Think you are so nice, I give you bowls of porridge.
I have to say thank you to There Is Something in the Barn, because finally, as I'm filming this, I finally feel festive. And if you can hear snoring, please excuse it. It is my dog. She has decided that she is going to sleep down by my feet while I do this review. This movie is so fun, and it's so festive, and it's so whimsical, and then it's mixed with this like dry, sarcastic comedy and this folklore horror. It is like everything that I want in a Christmas horror movie. I knew nothing about the Norwegian folklore that is barn elves before watching this movie, so I'm going to try and briefly explain what they actually are. Now, barn elves are small elves that are commonly found in barns that do not like change, bright lights, or loud noises. And if you treat them with kindness and respect, they will help you around your home. But if you break any of these traditions or any of these rules, then you will know about it because it makes them mad, and the more rules that you break, the angrier that they get. The horror is it's like a ripple below the surface. Like, you know that something is gonna kick off, but you're just waiting for that moment to be built up to. And when it does, the payoff is there. The first half of the movie is about building up what the idea is behind the folklore and this new family that has moved from America to Norway, and establishing what their relationships are and how they are trying to integrate into this small town. The second half of the movie though, when this all kicks off, is like an all-out war between this family and the barn elves. Now, do I think that There Is Something in the Barn is scary in any way? No. And a lot of its horror comes from these like little moments that are slightly more gory, but they're not like super intense. So I would say that this is a Christmas horror movie that you could watch with somebody if they are interested more in, say, folklore or have an interest in like light fantasy rather than being a massive horror fan. All four family members, Bill, Carol, Nora and Lucas, I hope I remembered that correctly, are all incredibly likable, and that is a rare thing for me to say. Like, I was expecting to be rooting for the barn elves in this, because when don't I root for the bad guys to win? But I actually wanted everybody to survive in this because they are all incredibly likable, particularly Lucas. The highlight though is the barn elves. We already knew that they were going to be the highlight of this movie, and they are all so stinking cute, and they are all unique in appearance, so every single one of them gets their own little moment to stand out. I personally found the comedy in this to be great. It's really dry when it's any of the Norwegian people talking to the Americans. It's really sarcastic, which is my sense of humour, like through and through. There's physical comedy mixed in through this, but it's humour that knows when to not overstay its welcome, and it's humour that allows its audience to breathe and then take in the next section of plot before it then comes at you with this next like dry sarcastic comment that comes out of actual nowhere. And it's so good. The comedy never overshadows the plot, and that is a huge selling point for me because in a horror comedy, I want your comedy to enhance your plot, not be your entire plot. So without going into spoilers, some of my favourite moments were the scene with the snowmobile, the scene with the Christmas bauble bombs, and the scenes with the wooden sleds. It has got this really good Christmas soundtrack, and it's got lots of songs that I think would be fairly recognisable to most people, and it is then paired with this like dark, whimsical, instrumental part to the soundtrack, which is really good at actually enhancing the story and goes really well with that folklore feel. Visually, it is beautiful to look at. It has got rich, saturated colour, which is then contrasted by this like harsh white snow and lots of bright blue moonlight. It's also a Christmas movie that feels Christmassy without filling every single scene with Christmas tat, which I appreciate. Like, this feels like a normal family living in a normal house. It just so happens to be Christmas. They don't feel like they are living in a like department store window display. There's Something in the Barn is possibly my favourite horror Christmas movie that I have seen in a long time. And because of that, I am actually going to give There Is Something in the Barn from 2023 a 4 out of 5 stars because I want more people to go out and take a chance on this movie. It has got the Christmas Warm and Fuzzies in it by the like bucketful, but it's so much fun. So there you have it, my initial thoughts and my review on There Is Something in the Barn from 2023. If you've seen this movie, I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are down in the comment section down below. If you would like to know every single horror movie that I watch, not just the ones I talk about here on YouTube, you can find me over on Instagram and on Letterboxd, and I will be back on Monday with another Christmas horror review. So until next time, bye!